And I was very pleased to meet that crowd. It was so unexpected. In Russia, things don't have to be very so far, but I think Russia is greatly, slowly but surely moves in that direction. Russia, in its social development, political development, I guess, lags behind Canada by before some decades. So I guess we in Russia will eventually come to that sort of activism. Nothing drastic. So guys, it's not very easy to speak here because of the French army. So if I move to and when I read that advertisement, to be honest, I was a little bit scared. It sounds so scientifically comparative global analysis of gender issues, because I'm not a scholar of gender issues. I'm engaged in those issues not by choice, but by necessity. I can call myself a victim of a gender inequality, which is in Russia as outrageous as it is maybe in Canada. So actually I think there is very little to compare between Russia and Canada, because comparative analysis implies that there are some huge differences between the things to compare. As far as I understand the issue, there are more similarities than differences between gender issues in Russia, in Canada, and I would say in other countries which belongs to the so-called Western world. Russia may be politically opposite to the Western world, but in terms of mentality, in terms of gender issues, Russian society is very similar to Canadian, European countries, because we've got very similar groups, similar to CAFE, similar to Russian Fathers Committee in Bulgaria, say, which is part of Europe. They are now good friends, and we constantly exchange the material, we constantly exchange the experience, and I can see that responsibly that the problems that men, fathers face.
I'm not going to force it. I'm just into this is like saying stay in the rain because they
very similar.
I'll agree to that.
Maybe the major difference between how the things are in Canada and how the things are in Russia is how the family laws apply to the real life. I'm not an expert in Canadian family law, but I'm an expert in Russian family law, once again by necessity. I've been in that issue for over 5 years. This is exactly how old my junior son is. I was engaged to gender issues a few weeks after my son was born, because a few weeks after he was born, his mother effectively abducted him, and she has abducted him in the direct sense of that word. She took him from our family home to her parents and cut off any communications between me and him. Since he was just a baby, all communications between me and him could go on through the mother. She cut off all the phones, she didn't reply to the emails. So I had, after a few months of fruitless attempts to see my child, I had to apply to a court. And this is when I found out how naive I used to be. Because if we read the Russian laws, the family and gender issues in Russia are all but perfect. Because starting from the Russian Constitution, it is engraved in several articles of the Constitution. For example, I remember it, Article 19. It states, all citizens of the Russian Federation are equal regardless of their age, occupation, and, attention, gender. All citizens of Russian Federation enjoy the same rights and bear the same responsibilities regardless of their age, race, occupation, and gender. There is another article, number 38 of the Russian Constitution, which states childhood, motherhood, and, attention again, fatherhood is protected by the state. In the Russian Family Code, there are several articles reading parents have equal rights when it comes to the children upbringing. Russian Family Code don't even use the words mother and father. Everywhere through the Russian Family Codes, which is 100 something articles, there is no word mother and father, only parents. So even by definition, Russian laws declares that parents are equal when it comes to the children. There is one more very important, in our case, article in the Family Code of Russia, which declares parents are superior in all matters regarding their children. No other relative or state official have a right to interfere in the children upbringing against the will of the parents. So on the paper, everything is great, smooth, and perfect. This is on the paper. This is why I said I was so naive. Because I don't know how it is in Canada. I only lived in Canada for 6 years, and now since 2008 I visit Canada due to my child abduction. His mother effectively takes him hostage. I can't leave Russia because then I leave my child behind there. In Canada, I hope so. But in Canada, the laws exist to set up some rules of the game. I see your reaction, I understand you. But at least not to such extent like in Russia. In Russia, the laws exist mostly to cover, to disguise, to mask the complete lawlessness. I'm not going to go political now, I will restrict myself from family matters. So Russian family laws exist only on paper. I found myself on my personal experience. I was 100% sure when I applied to a court, demanding my 50% of my parental rights, that the judge just has no option. She should abide to the law, which states that me and my then wife have equal rights, 50-50. What I faced was shocking for me. It was an emotional disaster for me.